Actually, Matt, you made one final point, which is such a good one. We mentioned it before. Tempo. We've got to do it for 90 minutes,
I know.
and not be passive at home as well. We're the home team. Let's not be stupid, So we can't be gung ho, but let's have that pace and that energy because that's what gets the crowd up as well.
Mm.
Show us the effort, show us the energy, and do it for 90 minutes.
Welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And finally, we can get back to Championship football after the international break. And tomorrow we go to St Andrews as we host Hull City in the Championship. Now, on paper, we're only separated by one goal difference. So Hull are in 15th on -2 and Birmingham City are in 16th on -3. And in this video, we're going to discuss the teams, what we think the lineups might be, what we might expect from both teams, and of course, end it with a typical score prediction. So, Dad, we host Hull City at home tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Well, Hull had a poor season last season, didn't they? They were in trouble down the bottom end of the table, managed to stay in the league, and they were highly tipped, particularly with all the turmoil that went on in the summer about transfer embargoes and all the things that were going on with their owner, and I believe it was to do with non-payment of a fee or something like that. I think they've done exceptionally well. I mean, you look at I'll show some of their transfers in a moment. They've not paid a fee for anybody, and because they can't. And you look at the way they're playing in the first 9 games. They're obviously the same record as us, isn't it? Played 3, won 3, drawn 3, and lost 3. Exactly the same record as ours. To me, that they're the surprise package so far, in my opinion, of the first 9 games. Because I didn't think that they were going to be as competitive as they are.
I'd throw QPR in there as well. Hull and QPR for me have been the two of teams who have surprised me. Well, let's ignore that defeat at Coventry for QPR, but 2 teams who have surprised me, have done very well at the start of the season, Dad. And I was on X the other night. Obviously, at the time of recording, as you know, we've just had an international break, and my feed is full of football at the minute, getting ready for the weekend. And Ollie McBurnie actually got the September Player of the Month award, and I'm not surprised. He's banging them in. Hull fans are absolutely loving him, and why wouldn't they? Everyone loves a goal scorer, don't they, Dad? But they come into this off the back of a 1-0 win at home to Sheffield United, and I went onto their social media channels just to check the top tweet, and it said that clean sheet could be worth its weight in gold. Penalty save will do wonders for Pandor's confidence. So I think their goalkeeper has been lacking a little bit of confidence in recent weeks. Maybe Hull City fans can confirm that in the comments. But, a really good win for them at home against Sheffield United. And, a team that are capable of scoring goals.
Yeah, they are. I mean, their results have been, really, some really good results. I mean, the first game of the season, they drew 0-0 at Coventry. Now, we know where Coventry have started, and obviously maybe you catch them first game. It's probably a good time to catch them. But there's no disputing the fact that's a very good point at Coventry.
0-0?
0-0 that was, yeah. So they're a clean sheet. I mean, obviously, a few weeks ago, we lost 3-0 there, and we should have lost by more.
Cov at the moment are beating everyone by 3s and 4s, aren't they?
But Hull got a 0-0 there. Then they beat Oxford 3-2. Then 2 defeats. A surprise one for me. They lost 3-0 at home to Blackburn. And then they lost 4-2 at Bristol City. Then they drew 2-2 at Swansea, beat Southampton 3-1. Lost 2-1 at Watford, and then drew 2-2 at home to Preston, who are doing very well. And then, as you said, beat Sheffield United 1-0. So there's a good mix of results in there. But
it's quite hard to read again, though, isn't it?
It is. But the key thing you mentioned, Matt, which is a really, really interesting and key point, they're scoring lots of goals. So they scored 14 goals, which is the 4th highest in the Championship. But they got the 2nd worst defence. We talked about a team this last season in League One that did, which Peterborough, scoring a load of goals, but absolutely right down the bottom when it comes to defence. And clearly, their problem is their defence. Yeah. Because they've conceded 16 goals, with 5 more than us, but they've scored 14, which is 6 more than us. So shows you that the two teams are fairly closely matched, I think. And if they can sort out their defence, then they've got a good chance of having a decent season.
Yeah, I think they'll be very compact at St Andrews, Dad. I think they'll come to frustrate us a bit. They're a team that don't mind being out of possession a bit more. I wouldn't say they're an out of possession team, but they don't mind you having a bit more of the ball. And, Blues at St Andrews, Dad, there's no point in denying it. For all the frustrations we have scoring, we are a good home team. We are good at St Andrews. So with all that possession, though, we need to be effective with it. We need to put them under pressure. We need to, not go side to side and get stuck in that horseshoe. But we'll get on to the Blues in a minute. But what I like about Hull, Dad, from what I've seen, is their ability to get balls in the box. They're very good. We spoke about Wrexham last week, Dad, because that was our last game, and we spoke about Wrexham being their positives particularly complemented our negatives. in terms of that when they went a bit more direct and got balls over the top of defences, when they got balls in wide areas, they are good. I mean, Ollie McBurnie in the middle, Dad, if you get the ball in the middle to him at the moment with the confidence he's got, the odds are he's going to score.
Yeah.
So we need to cut out the supply. I say that a lot on videos where we're playing teams who are good out wide and they like to get balls in the box, because I think we sometimes give wingers too much respect and too much time and too much space to get balls into the box. We cannot do that against Hull. So although we'll be in possession and I think we will dominate the ball, let's not underestimate their ability to transition smoothly and quickly, get balls in the box. And as I said, my number one priority this weekend is going to be cutting that supply to Ollie McBurnie, if we're going to be honest. Yeah. He's the danger man.
We had a similar conversation prior to Wrexham saying that we had to stop Kiefer Moore getting the ball because he's a similar type of player, actually.
Yeah, and Clara dominated him.
Yeah.
He did very well against him, kept him very quiet.
Yeah, but I think Ollie McBurnie is more physical than Kiefer Moore, which I know they're both big, tall players.
He's aggressive,
That's what I mean, he's more aggressive. But Hull have got the worst away record so far, 2 points so far, which is bottom. Only, believe it or not, Ipswich and Watford have got 2 points away. But their home record is the 5th best, so most of their points have come at home. Like you said, Matt, like a lot of teams, they like attacking down the wings. They've got a player as well, Galhart as well, I think, on their right wing. Did they get him from Leeds or something like that on loan? I'm not too sure, but he looks like a good supply line. He's got a lot of assists as well, and they like their top style of plays are attacking. Very much attacking football, but they do play occasional, long balls as well. Clearly, because they've got a decent target, man. Yeah. We used to have that with Yuki, didn't we? We had sometimes when we needed it, we had someone we know we could ping the ball up to, and we know he would either hold on to it or lay it off. We ain't got that at the moment,
unless you play Dykes, but he doesn't really do that massively effectively, does he? So.
Yeah, but I think that's the type of play that they actually do. They do play. I mean, their manager is Sergei Yakirovich. He plays a 4-2-3-1. He's played that 8 times. He's only played 4-3-3 once this season, so it is a 4-2-3-1 that we're likely to come up against. But when you look at some of their plays, they've got Ryan Giles at left back, good goalkeeper, good right back. They got John Egan, an experienced centre half. He used to play for Sheffield United in the Premier League. Charlie Hughes, John Lundstrom as well. He was at Sheffield United. He's one of their sixes. Ryan Slater,
Regan Slater.
Sorry, Regan Slater. Gelhardt, and then number 10 is a chap called Gayabi.
He's good. He is.
Yeah, very good. And I was feeding into the out and out number 9, which is Ollie McBurnie.
He's their kind of that Gayabi, Dad. He's their link between defence and attack. You know what you mentioned about transition. If Blues have a lot of the ball, Hull are very good at doing that swarm up in numbers, and he's the one that kind of does those clever little passes, gets them out wide, gets them from defence to attack. And from what I saw from the Sheffield United game, I quite like their midfielders, Dad. You just referenced them. Let me just get their names so I don't mispronounce them. Regan Slater and John Lundstrom.
Yeah.
Because you got Slater, who brings that energy, covers a lot of ground, quite aggressive, and then you have Lundstrom, who's a bit more mature and kind of controls the game and brings that experience. They play off each other really well. That centre midfield. So again, whoever we play in the centre mid, and we'll get onto Blues who we think might start in a minute, I think that's going to be quite an important battle in the centre of the park. It always is in the midfield, I get that, especially going through the spine of the team. But, again, I was impressed when I saw them. They control the game quite well. Yeah,
I think going forward will be the threat. Obviously, I think it'll be a game of like that. They'll go forward, we'll go forward, and obviously whoever wins those battles, because they clearly make them score a lot of chances. Ollie McBurnie's got 6 league goals this season, and next one is Joe Galhart with 2. Carl Joseph as well. Didn't we see him last season? Was he playing for Blackpool? Yeah,
he was. Yeah.
He's got.
I think he moved last January.
Yeah. And listen to this: most assists. Ryan Giles, their left back's got 5 assists. Ollie McBurnie's got 4. So Ollie McBurnie's got 6 goals and 4 assists.
Yeah. Whenever I think of a left back getting assists, I think of Leif Davies.
Yeah, but it's
got that vibe, hasn't it? But you want your fullbacks to make goal scoring contributions.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah, so they've obviously when you look at their squad, and obviously they've paid a loan fee for a player called, I'll get this name right, Amir Hazimatevic. Okay. They got him from Besiktas and in Turkey. He wasn't playing in the last game. I don't know if he's injured. Maybe Hull fans can tell us if he's injured.
Do you have the loan fee? I'm just intrigued.
Well, I've got 700k here as a loan fee.
Quite a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. But again, this is from transfer market fee, so I'm not sure. They bought in, they say that Darko Gabia, who you've mentioned, he's on loan from Leeds. Akin Fanwayo, centre back from Sheffield Wednesday, free transfer. Enis Dastan, centre forward from Trabzonspor, which is in Turkey. You're going to get these Turkish links because of the owner. He's Turkish, isn't he? Semih Ajayi, we saw him in League One last season as well. Was it? I can't remember. Was it Semi Ajayi, or am I mixing the player up? Anyway, he's a centre back.
Who do you think he played for?
I thought it was Orient, but I might be getting the wrong player there. Okay. But anyway, he's from West Brom. Ollie McBurnie, they got him on a free transfer from Las Palmas. I mean, I'm getting Joe Gelhardt, centre forward from Leeds, and Joe Lundstrom, again from Turkey.
We were linked with Ollie McBurnie, weren't we, at one point?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams were, but they got him in the end. But so basically, I think considering that they can't play a transfer fee, they've done very well, and they'll be a proper threat, I think.
Agreed. I can see before we get into our score prediction, Dad, we'll get onto the Blues and then score prediction. I can definitely see goals in this game.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that, and then I've looked at my prediction then. But
is it 0-0?
No, it's not 0-0. It ain't 0-0. I'll give you a bit of sport. It's not 0-0.
Okay.
But let's go on to the Blues then. So we'll do same as usual. Go back to front. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first then, Dad. So just off the back of the Wrexham game, I don't think he did anything wrong. In fact, I think he had a very good game. I want to go for Beadle in goal.
Yeah, me too. I think most people probably expect that to happen.
I enjoyed his performance against Wrexham, and again, the standout moment was that shot he saved. From an attacking point of view, your odds on to score that. Yeah. And that was a great save, so fair play to him. Enjoyed his distribution as well. I've gone for Cochrane left back.
Yeah.
I've gone for Jack Robinson left side of centre back.
Yeah.
I've gone for Clara right side of centre back. And question, I guess, I know you're not Chris Davies, Dad, unless you've got him on the speed dial, like I know you do. Right back, what's the update on Bright Samuel and Laird? Do we know what their
Laird, I understand, he's not a he's not a quick return. No.
Do we know about Soy Samuel?
No. If he's obviously, so what you'll if he's fit, you'll say Soy Samuel.
If he's fit, I'd say Soy Samuel. If he's not, again, just because it's the only thing I can base it off, I think he's probably going to go with the Water again off the back of the Wrexham game then.
Yeah, I can't not agree with any of that. I've gone for exactly the same back five, including the goalkeeper. And it does depend. I'm not too sure about Bright. I believe when he got injured, as Chris Davies said, it wasn't a serious injury.
I thought it was a niggle.
Yeah, but these niggles can sometimes, be longer than you expect. Yeah. I've actually put a Water in the right back.
But if Bright was fit, Dad, would you put him for Bright?
Yeah, I would do, because Chris Davies wants the pace on that position. Water's not got that level of pace. As well as he did against Wrexham, I think he's just a stopgap right back until we get to him or Laird back.
So you take us through the midfield then, Dad.
Yeah.
And let's go through it thinking that Waters at right back then.
Yeah, okay. So therefore I've gone for Paik. I think will definitely be nailed on. Then it's between Leonard and Doyle. Leonard did all right, didn't he, against... but again, I'm going to go for Doyle. I think Doyle needs to play football. I think he deserves a start, but I think Chris Davies... Mark Leonard gave Chris Davies a lot to think about, didn't he? So he hasn't done anything wrong. So if Chris Davies used the principle, you've earned the shirt, he'll go for Leonard. But I'm hoping that Doyle will get the start. So Doyle and Paik in the middle. Then I've gone for Keshi Anderson starting on the left, although you could easily go for Kumas, but I've gone for Keshi. It could be Kumas in as much as if Chris Davies feels that Keshi's just coming back. But I've plumped for a Keshi start. I like Keshi. I think he gives us aggression in that position. He's forward thinking. He's positive, and it's whether or not he's ready to start the game. But I have gone for him to start, and I've gone for Patrick Roberts on the right, Stano in the number 10, feeding into Kyogo.
Okay.
That's my starting lineup.
We've actually got a few changes, Dad, between us now then. Yeah. And again, this is the beauty of having a decent squad, isn't it? We have quite a few options. So in the middle of the park, again, assuming that Water is right back and Bright and Laird aren't back. Well, we know Laird won't be back, sorry. I think he's going to keep it consistent with what we've seen. And I mean, I'm with you. I want to see Doyle. I think a lot of the Blues fan base want to see Doyle. I'm just going to put my hands up and say that. I think it'll be Leonard and Paik. I think that's what's in Davies' head. Because off the back of the Wrexham game, I thought Leonard was good. He gave Davies something to think about. Sorry, I know I'm repeating what you're saying, but I think Leonard will start. And sadly, he doesn't seem to fancy Doyle, so I think it'll be Paik.
Yeah, okay.
But my preference would be Doyle, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I've gone for Kumas on the left because I think Chris Davies seems to be on the side of picking him. I again agree with you, Dad. Is Keshi back to full 100% fitness to start a game? I don't think he is just yet, but I think Kumas could come off for Keshi at like the 60-minute mark, 70-minute mark.
Yeah.
Especially because he brings us that physicality. I've gone for Patrick Roberts on the right. Yeah. Is Duke still injured, do you think, for the game against Hull?
Well, again, at the time of recording, we haven't had the update, have we? Because normally Chris Davies gives us an update on those, because we haven't had the pre-match interview at the time of recording.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I believe that his injury wasn't a bad one. I think he had felt a bit of a twinge, didn't he, before the Coventry game, and we haven't seen him since then.
So if Dukes is fit, I would go for him in the number 10. But again, let's assume he's not for consistency with the others. I'm going to go for Dykes in the 10.
Okay.
Because he gives us that little bit of physicality. Davies quite likes Dykes in the 10 as well. And I'm going to feed him into Stansfield. Kogo on the bench for now. And then Kogo coming off on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
And again, I think that seems to... I'm trying to follow the pattern that Chris Davies has been going with. But it's one of those things... Kyogo needs confidence at some point during the season, so he could start any of these games, but I just like the energy Stansfield gives us from the off up front. So, just to confirm, Dad, Leonard and Paik in the middle, Kumas on the left, Dykes in the 10, Roberts on the right, feeding into Stansfield.
Okay, interesting. I think obviously Dykes has been on international duty with Scotland, and
he scored.
He did score. Obviously,
oh yeah, good point.
He did, but he didn't start the Belarus game. He was on the bench.
That's a good point.
So
we could see Stansfield in the 10, like your prediction, Dad, feeding into Kyogo.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be upset with that. So
I would like to see Dux back, but I don't know. Again, at the time of recording, we haven't had the pre-match interview from Chris Davies where he gives an update on all the players. So we don't know what the state of the injury with Dux is, with Bright is, and that's why we're making the assumptions that we are. But so it's just a prediction now, then, Matt. So do you want to go first? Or?
Yeah, I'll go first then, Dad. So I think there'll be goals in this. I think both teams will score. I'm going to be optimistic just to keep the home record ticking along. I'm going to go Birmingham City 2, Hull City 1.
Okay, well, I've gone very close to that. I've gone 2-0. I've gone for a clean sheet. Like you say, for me, the home record is what has got to keep us going. You know, we just about hung on to our record against Sheffield Wednesday, didn't we, in the last home game?
Just about.
And these are, I would argue, a better team than Sheffield Wednesday. With respect to Sheffield Wednesday, they did good.
Yeah.
But these have started the season better. They'll be more of a threat. So we've got to be careful.
But what we need to do, Dad, is cut out. And again, we've spoke about it. I'm not outing anyone here, but it's just a comment. We need to cut out individual errors.
Yeah, Chris Davis would know that. And obviously take chances when we get them as well.
Shoot on sight.
So obvious, isn't it? But
shoot. I'll tell you what, Dad, a couple of things. Rattle off the top trumps list of what Blues need to do. Tempo. Shoot on sight. Get balls in the box. Movement. You know, this isn't rocket science. We can all see it. Chris Davies knows it as well. I think Chris Davies is still figuring out his starting 11, and I think we will get there. But these little things for me, especially being the home team, we need to put the pressure on. We need to come out the gates. We need to be dangerous, and we need to put our chances away. Because again, when you make mistakes or when you don't put your chances away at this level, you will get punished.
Actually, Matt, you made one final point, which is such a good one. We mentioned it before. Tempo. We've got to do it for 90 minutes, and not be passive at home as well. We're the home team. Let's not be stupid, So we can't be gung ho, but let's have that pace and that energy, because that's what gets the crowd up as well. Show us the effort, show us the energy, and do it for 90 minutes. Don't be passive in that, because we saw a completely different team in the second half against Wrexham. That's the team I want to see on Saturday against Hull. I want to see that second half play, tempo, and give Hull a proper game, because this is a real threat. This whole team.
We owe Hull a beating, Dad, off the back of the Rooney era, because it was Rooney's first home game. Do you remember?
I do.
And it was Rooney and Rosenia in the dugout.
Yeah.
And that season they did very well. They missed out on the playoffs on the last game of the season away to Plymouth from memory. Allsop would have been in goal. So they had a good season that season. But I remember being at home with Rooney in charge. It was borderline one of the worst games I've ever witnessed in my life. So we owe a lot of teams this season, Hull being one of them off the back of Rooney. Don't take that personally, Hull City fans. But looking forward to it, Dad. I think a 2-1 win for Blues, I'll be really happy with that, because beating those teams around you where you are in the league is how you rise, isn't it? And you get that consistency. Yeah. Being the home team, I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah, it's the start of a new round of games now after an international break. I think we've got to start building some form now, some momentum.
Yeah.
Get a good string of results together, and then, and then move on, because obviously no game's easy in this league.
Absolutely.
But looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. How great is it to get back down to St.Andrews this weekend after the international break? But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And Hull City fans, let us know your thoughts. Give us a score prediction. Let us know your thoughts on what you might expect to come into St. Andrews this weekend. And if you like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can watch and listen to us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.